Body, let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And we're at the end of the week. So both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. Feel the weight of your feet in the floor. The weight of the back of the legs in your chair. Your hands resting in your lap. Feel the weight of your pelvis into the chair. And see if you can align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just lengthen your spine. Put some space in between the vertebrae. And then just come to the crown of your head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyes, the eyebrows, the eyeball, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the jaw. Relax the back of the tongue and the temples and the ears, the inner ears. Relax the back of the head, the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Your hands can be just resting gently in your lap or in the meditation mudra. Be aware of the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. And then just notice if the sounds that are in your environment, the smells. Just allow all of that sensory information, that external sensory information to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just check in with yourself tonight. See how you're doing. Put some space in between your thoughts. And just watch your thoughts arise and abide. And then just release them. And then be curious. Have some curiosity about what's in your mind, about what you're seeing. You know, maybe you struggle with something. So just observe it, look at it, examine it. Then bring to mind all the precious people in our life, our loved ones. Our strangers, the ones we don't like, maybe we don't trust, or we even have little complicated feelings towards them. for these ones we love. We can't imagine it being anything else. And, it can change. And then there's these ones who are complete strangers. So on Wednesday mornings, I drive north from here, and it's going south towards San Francisco is bumper to bumper traffic. There's like 4 lanes of bumper to bumper traffic going south, and some people do that every day of the week. I mean, the work week. That looks like torture to me. Anyway, all those people in those cars and trucks and, you know, many, many trucks, many of those kind of trucks where the guys are gardening or doing whatever. They're all strangers. You just see them as cars. They all have people in them. They all have lives, and they all have disappointments and excitements and grief and depression, anxiety and worries, money, food, all these things, health. But we don't really care. We just see that blue car that did that thing. We don't ever consider it's a person driving it, a human being. And then we have those ones we don't like as well. And then just imagine it's possible that they can all change place, these relationships. And they're all equal. They don't want to suffer. These people, they're just like you and me. They want to be happy. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So now we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who is the doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we need Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive us. We purify ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine that this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So that just makes it a little bit more personal. Because sometimes imagining a deity above the crown of your head, so it feels a little distant. It's not somebody we can actually talk to or email. So we've got this Vajrasattva above the crown of your head, and you can also imagine he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful radiant face, and his eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth, his hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, and the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently, and in the past, and then in general, all beings we've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and particularly for these ones, because the harm they've caused you is going to result a suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to this power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time, forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. So you imagine all the gossip, all the inappropriate speech, all the harsh speech, all the lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta meboa sabosidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe ambajrasattva samayam manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita drita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sabosidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Ambhadrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately, very happily sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire body. So it's just like when you walk into a room that's pitch black and you flick on the switch. Well, the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So it's the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachments and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, all of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Trita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others, with our body and our speech are completely purified, and think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. So you imagine the nectar flowing down, pushing out all the negativities of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing out all the negativities of the speech, and then the light coming and just kind of blasting all of your delusions. And just all happening at the same time. So just imagine that, you know, it fills you completely, this light and this nectar, and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta me boa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajra safa samaya manupalaya vajra safa dina patita. Dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa. Anurakta me boa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Trita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita. Dita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sabosidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me. Sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now the fourth and final step in the purification process is this power of resolve. And this is a really crucial step. This is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again, same old habits. So this determination, this aspiration to refrain from harming becomes like a beacon that guides your body and your speech and your mind in new directions. So rejoice in your efforts for coming along tonight. And then think of something you'd like to work on over the weekend. And then imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So you think like this. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. It's always good to question that. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do chanting the names of Manjushri. O net of illusion, homage to you. Homage to you, the Buddha's spectacle. Homage to you, the everything of all. O body of wisdom, homage to you. Om Sava, Dharmabhava, Sabhava, Vishuddha Vajra, Ha Praktri, Parishuddha, Savadama, Yad Utta, Sava Tatagata, Jana Kaya Manjushri, Parishuddhitam, Upadayati, Savatatagata Sridayam Hara Hara Om Hum Shri Bhagavan Janamurti Vagishvara Mahavacha Savadharma Gaganamala Saparishuddha Dhammadhatu Jana Garva. Then Vajradhara, ever glorious, most pleased and satisfied with folded palms, prostrated to the Buddha, noble God, the Blessed One, the Lord Tathagata. How many have we done? Was that in the first one? Did we do 3? 1, and then a mantra, and then Okay. And with a host of other Vajrapanis of varied forms, the Lord of Guyakas, sublime protectors, noble wrathful kings, he then exclaimed this effervescent praise. Okay. So let's just dedicate this practice for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the swift finding of recognition of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and for all your own individual teachers. And so, Shayla, I was kind of thinking just towards the end there, when you're scrubbing all that black, it's a beautiful opportunity to imagine you're scrubbing all of your delusions. So if you're working on something like something internal, and then you've got this kind of black mess, imagine you're just getting rid of it. Then at least you've got something positive happening with something that could be just maybe kind of devastating and depressing. So then at least
That's so
you might feel a little
wonderful.
bit might feel a bit better about it anyway. I mean, if I
That
was there,
sounds like a perfect.
there you go. If I was there, I'd come and help you scrub, but I'm not. This is the least I can do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello there, Source. Nice to see you, my darling boy. Okay. All right. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you so much for hosting, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Okay. Bye. Thank you.